Is everybody there? Can anyone hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Awesome. Happy
Hear ya.
Monday. Well, we'll get
Same to
cracking.
you.
I'll make sure we're done in 30 minutes or under, and hopefully any questions. First things before we get going, I'm going to dump a lot of text into the chat description if I can, or share a link or two. I'll do that as we go. I didn't want to take the text. But first things first, we'll dive into some stats, yes? Okay, so this is Fulton County and the past 7 days. As you've been seeing recently, there's nothing astonishing. So we've gone from 754 active listings to 819. That's a decent uptick. Active under contract has jumped from 107 to 124. Coming soon is down by about 14 properties to 25. Pending 249 from 234. And then closed a week ago was 259, 234 this week. We're trending upward. We're tracking in that sort of general bracket. Inventory remains low. If I can get this to work, let's go to the cab. Make sure this has changed over. Yeah, here we go. Loading. There we go. So we'll look back again. So we're currently at 456 active listings, with 63 active on contract, 149 pending. So let's see if we jump back a week. Ooh. Very similar active levels within 20 properties. Active under contract is again similar within 13 properties. Pending 156 to 149. So pretty flat in terms of closings, 161, currently 138. So again, we're sort of bouncing around within a bracket. Cobb, here we go. See if Cobb is tracking the same way. If I'm going too fast and people do want to chat about anything, obviously let me know. I'm aware last time I did this, we went over, so I'm eager not to do that. Okay, here we are. Cobb County, in a week ago, 383 active listings, 413. So it's up, more inventory there. Active under contract, 78 to 77. So that's flat. Coming soon inventory, 19 and 17, pretty flat. Pending, 152, 154, flat. And then in terms of closed, 161, 174. I mean, basically flat. What other counties would you like me to look at? Anyone? No one. Let's have a look. Okay. Out of interest, I'm going to go to Cherokee. Looks like there's been a bit more of a dramatic change. Active listings, Cherokee, a week ago, 148, 189. So that's a decent uptick. Active under contract is actually down 41 to 29. Coming soon properties, 16 down to 10. Pending, 67. Currently 82. So the number of pending is up. And closed, 67 to 76. Okay, reasonably flat. So the stats are not really going to surprise any of us. I think we're seeing over the spread a relatively even range of inventory. It might be creeping up. What is anyone else seeing? Are there any other counties before we just go on to a conversation about some of the things in the press? Anyone? Mika, Corey? Oh, Gwinnett. Okay, we can do Gwinnett, absolutely. So a week ago in Gwinnett County, there were 454 active, currently 534. So that's a pretty dramatic uptick for a week. Last week, active under contract at 59, now 82. Again, pretty decent uptick. Coming soon, 20 listings a week ago, 13 currently. Pending contracts, 156 to 164, I think that said. Let's have a look at closings this week, 204, 228. So closings are within a bracket, but definitely more inventory coming there. So that's a good sign. That should help. I'm just looking back at the chat to see if anyone else has others. Anyone else want any of the other counties looked at? Okay.
Holding, so please.
Holding, okay, absolutely. Nope. Holding County. Yep. Okay, this is interesting. So a week ago, 170 active listings, currently 165. Okay, not too much of a drop off, but a little bit of a tail off. A week ago, 19 active under contract and 49 pending, currently 51 pending and 70 active under contract. So that's quite flat. In terms of closed, 55 this week, a week ago, 55. Okay, so a slight reduction in inventory. Again, 170 active listings down from, 165 down from 170. So 5, yeah, again, pretty flat. Nothing is really sort of surprising us too much there. Any other counties? Any takers for any other counties? Okay, I'm going to switch the screen I'm sharing. Can everybody see that?
Sure can.
Great. Who was at the top 10% mastermind last weekend? Any of you guys?
Yes.
Last week? Yeah, great. So obviously the huge news in the marketplace is, of course, revolving around the lawsuit commissions disputes and how that's going to impact us. Heart of Atlanta Group, our managing broker, Angie, and Wiseman, the law firm, are working on some useful stipulations that can be added to purchase and sale agreements as part of an offer in situations where you may be out there seeing a less than desirable co-op fee advertised. At the moment, we're not seeing a landslide of 0% buyer side co-ops or even a large number of reduced co-op fees, but 6 months, 12 months time, who knows what we'll be facing. So it's good just to be ahead of the curve. There are lots of conversations going on about this at the moment. Basically, this special stipulation, which I can cut and paste into the chat screen in a moment, is one that Seth Wiseman developed. Angie, our managing broker at Hoeg, is going to add an additional disclaimer on the end. The bottom line is that it's a stipulation stating that a buyer is asking the seller to pay a balance of commission. It's not a request from you as a buyer's agent to the listing agent asking them to reduce their commission. It's a keep you out of jail free stipulation. It's fairly wordy, but there's reason behind it. Had anyone seen anything like that yet?
Not yet.
No? Not yet. And again, whether you have to use something along these lines in the next 6 months will be questionable. We're talking about a situation where the deficiency is so much that your buyer is unable to make up the difference. Obviously, the correct coaching is when you have your buyer meeting at the beginning of the process, when you're entering into the buyer brokerage engagements, you're having conversations along the line of how you are paid and what that looks like, where the money comes from, including when it comes from them. Is that something people are practicing already? Definitely a Monday morning quack crowd. Okay, so bottom line is just be aware that there are specific stipulations out there. They will be changing as any further decisions are reached or changes and shifts in the market happen. Will pivot. But the information is there. If you're unsure, obviously go and contact your broker support or your TLs. Just make sure that you're covering and protecting yourselves. The key is to fully understand and fully explain your brokerage engagements, both sides of the coin, list side and sell side. In terms of frequently asked questions, again, I've had a few phone calls, not a ton, but a few, and I believe some of the other TLs have as well, from agents whose clients are reading the news, seeing the headlines, and then beginning to ask what it means. Do they have to pay? AWRI did release a useful frequently asked questions sheet. Again, this is going to be a living document and keep moving, keep being added to. Did anyone see this? And I can share the screen in a second. I've pasted the link into the chat box for you. But had anyone seen this? I'll share the screen. I know Mark Jones had seen it, but anyone else? Mika, had you seen it?
I have not.
Okay. It's worth a quick read. The very short summary is that this is all new. This is all very much in play. This is all very much going to be appealed. And nothing has changed, particularly for us in Georgia. It's business as usual. We have great brokerage engagements. The contracts are very well written. They already were in advance of some of what's being discussed in the lawsuits. And if we're explaining those properly, we're protected. Really, it's just having some awareness around the fact that the press can be pretty polarizing, especially some of the recent news reports I've seen where they get quite fiery. It's very easy to paint realtors in a villainous light, that we're money grabbing, we're not providing a service, we're overpaid. So being aware of what's going on with the lawsuits, being able to answer questions on them is going to help protect your income. It's also going to give you an advantage over your competitors. As say, I went to the top 10% event with HOAG the other day, and that was fantastic. The conversation was very high level. It's one that we've been having in leadership for quite a time already. I went to another industry event that was multi-brokerage and was quite surprised the sheer number of agents who hadn't even heard about the commission lawsuits or had just chosen to put bury their head in the sand. They were hoping that it wouldn't change anything for them, but they really didn't have a plan or any idea about what it was. So this FAQ is pretty useful. And I'm going to share another link. Bear with me. I'm not sure if you've seen this. But Brett Corbell sent out a letter to all of our roster in its entirety. I've posted the link. Again, it gives you a good summary of the lawsuits, the settlements that were reached by some of our competitors. It very much underlines that, as a Heart of Atlanta group, as part of KW, we're very much fighting for you. And it underlines heavily that we're very proud to be in business with Gary Keller. I think the big takeaway is that at a time when Anywhere Real Estate, so Sotheby's and some of the other bigger groups, Remax, they settled without a fight and basically conceded without really, I think, protecting their realtors or the industry at large. Gary Keller took the stand and went toe-to-toe and will continue to do so. The letter from Brett summarizes some of that and just really makes it clear that KW is very much an agent-centric company, and we have your back. There was an interesting article, I think, on Housing Wire. Remax, their CEO, saying that they have no regrets about the settlement. They have no regrets about the settlement, which, obviously they have to say, having reached it. Commission follows the market and always has. That's true, but I think allowing a rhetoric to be put out there undefended that really we do little more than open doors is dangerous. So yes, commissions are driven by supply and demand, just like anything else. And they do vary. They aren't standard. They aren't fixed. But it's the language that goes around the lawsuit. So the lawyers bringing the claim, the main class action lawsuit, were using language of corporate entities greedily gobbling up billions of dollars as if it's being stolen from the economy, rather than skilled, self-employed, entrepreneurial people like you and I out there earning an honest living by providing a professional service for which we should be paid for and contributing to the economy in the sense that real estate drives the economy, but also that we earn money and spend money in the economy. It was very easy to paint real estate, realtors, NAR, and all of us in a sour light. So I think just be aware of it. Nothing to panic about. It's business as usual. Other than that, there's some indications employment numbers are softening, which may mean that interest rates will come down slightly, and the Fed will look at landing the plane finally as well. So maybe things will ease up for us there. So I actually have rushed through things and am at 20 minutes in. Is there anything that you guys would like to talk about? Anyone at all? If not, we can break.
We can break.
We can break. Well, go have a great Monday. Just be aware of all the resources out there, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you.